It's Friday morning out here. Scot-free Philippines. Scot-free Philippines showed up here 3 months ago. He got picked up at the airport by a single mom Filipino who worked in a medical lab in Manila and probably had a 2-hour commute from her room to her workplace. And this guy shows up, and they went from in 3 months. In 3 months, he went from an Airbnb condo in BGC, and now he's in a rental in Laguna, a $200,000 to $250,000 a month rental in Laguna, bro. A house. He's got a car. He's got a golf cart. Now, we never thought we'd see something like this, something bigger than Fly Me to the Philippines. Fly Me to the Philippines, who wrote a book, that supposedly is #1 on Amazon for every loser to read, how to do it here in the Philippines. And then later on, Fly Me to the Philippines discloses that, he spends $8,000 a month on 2 Philippine households. And in order to keep his single mom, and CDO, Fly Me to the Philippines, spending $8,000 a month, on a single mom and CDO. There's Italians, contractors, and they have these condos down there, Fly Me to the Philippines. They just sit up in these condos, and they pull down all these girls, and they don't pay anything. They don't pay a penny. But Fly Me to the Philippines, and now the Scot-free Philippines, who went from a condo in BGC Airbnb in 3 months. Now he's renting a 250,000 peso a month house in Laguna. Looks like a car, a golf cart, taking care of multiple kids. He's got she's cute. That girl's cute. Scot-free Philippines. But this is what not to do in the Philippines when you arrive in 2000. There's an influx. It's unprecedented of broke-ass losers from America coming to the Philippines. Thank you, Paul the Pimp. Thank you, Mike Philippines Retirement, for lying to all these people. Thank you, Gio on the Go, that nasty, horrible sexual predator, that sex tourist that runs around in Africa banging AIDS-infested prostitutes. Gio on the Go. You guys really did a great job, bringing all these guys over here to spend a whole bunch of money, you were smart enough. Of course, Gio on the Go was smart enough to use and abuse all these women in the Philippines for years. Sitting down in Dumaguete across from the college with his Italian hat on and his big cross, and telling everybody that he was from Italy. And we have Paul the Pimp, who worked in Patong, Phuket Walking Street. That was a pimp that was out scamming people with his friend from the U.S. and he owned a hotel there, and they got ran out of the Philippines for 10 years. You got Mike Philippines Retirement, who never had any kids. There was never had any wife until he showed up and met a girl at a sorry store and went all in. And of course, she ended up pregnant with another Filipino's baby. That's why all these guys that show up here are completely, off their rockers. How do you show up here in 3 months, go from an Airbnb, meeting a single mom in Manila at the airport, in a condo Airbnb, and you end up in a $250,000 a month rental in Laguna with a car, a golfing cart, and she's already learning how to drive, ladies and gentlemen. We never thought all these guys would get dumber. They are. All these guys that are coming out today are dumber than ever.